Welcome to Newslaundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. Newslaundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have, and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a Newslaundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. When the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. सर कटे या मुंडी उड़े, ये दोनों स्लोगन कहे बिना हम अपना हफ्ता चालू नहीं करेंगे. और हफ्ता हर हफ्ते आएगा जैसे इस हफ्ते भी आया है. नमस्कार, I am Abhinandan Sekhri. With me on the panel is a very accomplished lot. Let me start from right to left. Atul, our executive editor. Hello, Mr. Chaurasia.
Hi.
Winner of several journalism awards. Anand Vardhan.
Hello.
Our resident in-house intellectual and avid reader of everything that has been printed or not. The winner of hearts. Manisha Pandey. Why is everyone laughing? We get a lot of fan mail for Vardhan. More than fucking I've got in my fucking 8 years of ghizoing my bund. Not got a single fan mail. यहाँ पर इसको 6 महीने में
1 मिनट में शुरू हो गए तुम्हें.
अबे यार मुझे फ्रस्ट्रेशन हो रहा है. मुझे फैन मेल नहीं आती है, बाकी सबको आती है. मुझे बस गालियाँ पड़ती है. Anyway, so Manisha Pandey,
Hello,
who's wondering what she's doing in this crass company, and Anand Ranganathan,
Hello.
in-house scientist. साइंस की दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है आजकल आनंद? कुछ नया ताज़ा चना बना?
माल गाड़ी चल रही है.
अच्छा चलो ठीक है. So before also Madhu is not here because she is doing some hectic work regarding a hectic event that's going to happen on the 21st and 22nd. I'm going to have a big announcement to make regarding that. It's called the Media Rumble, that the Newslaundry, that Newslaundry in partnership with Teamwork is putting up. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind media event. I'll tell you more about it later on in the podcast. Do stay tuned. Chhota Hafta listeners, साले मुफ्त खोरों, subscribe करके कुछ तो contribution करो यार. Free media में सड़के, you must be cribbing all the time, paid news, fake news, false news. So do something, step up, so you become full-time subscribers. So Madhu's busy in organizing some aspects of that. So we shall start off without her, although she won't be joining us in this hafta. These are the things we'll be discussing. The GST rollout, how smooth or unsmooth it's been. And I'd also like to know everyone's views here, how it has impacted your daily life. I went for lunch earlier this week twice and got a cheaper bill by 0.5%. So I'm happy. क्योंकि दारू तो मैं पीता नहीं. Modi's Israel visit. India and Israel signed 7 agreements. I'm sure the Anands will tell us what they are. Netanyahu, India and Israel friendship, marriage made in heaven apparently. He says that about everything, just like Modi says a few things about everything, but that makes for an interesting punchline. Supreme Court agrees to examine trust vote run by Tamil Nadu CM in February. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if that'll change anything. Then the Sikkim standoff. This seems serious. How serious? Again, let's discuss and figure that out. Are we on the verge of another aggression by China? And last time, who was the aggressor? Because some accounts of history say in 62 we were the aggressors and we crossed the line. And some say no, they were the aggressors. So let's see what we can get out of that. VHP, cow protectors are victims, not tyrants. Media ignores deadly attacks on them. That's what the VHP says. Communal riots break out in West Bengal's North 24 Parganas after controversial Facebook post. That has also been getting a lot of traction. Maybe we'll have some theories on that from the panel. The Apex Court asked the centre why there were no laws to ensure fair appointment of the post of election commissioner in the poll panel. Achal Kumar Jyoti's new chief election commissioner. Also, I believe the former chief secretary of Gujarat under Modi has been appointed as election commissioner. Am I right? Okay, everyone's looking at me blankly. I read that in the paper 2 days ago. So I was wondering, what does that mean? And Syed Salahuddin, who was designated a global terrorist recently by the United States, has admitted that the organization, that's the Hizbul Mujahideen, carried out terror attacks in India. Donald Trump posted a WWE-inspired video of him violently assaulting CNN. Is he too smart for the rest of us or too dumb? I think jurists are out on that.
CNN had a brilliant response to that also.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You thought it was brilliant?
I loved it.
I don't know whether that's doing, whether Trump is getting what he wants or not. I think that's, anyway, we'll discuss that. And then a Muslim journalist from NDTV, Munne Bharti, forced to say Jai Shri Ram to stop saffron-clad Bajrang Dal mob from torching his car, and anything else that anybody wants to talk about. I would also like to talk about Kiran Bedi. Wherever she goes, she wreaks havoc as she's doing in Puducherry now. So, what shall we start with? Vardhan, you've joined us after 2 weeks. Why don't you go? Do you want to shed some light on the Israel visit, why it's important, why it's not? Or do you want to start with GST?
Israel visit.
Israel. Okay, so let's go with Israel.
Yes, means Israel visit, it was all there on the cards, and it formalizes what was a covert bilateral engagement. So
we were embarrassed of our friendship with Israel in the past. Is that right? Or, I mean,
there were a few people who were. So Nehru took 2 years to recognize Israel.
As a nation.
Israel was created in May 1948, and India recognized it as a state only in September 1950. So, and India voted 2 times against first the creation means the partition of Israel and Palestine, the Arab side, that is Palestine, and then in UN India had voted against the granting membership to Israel. So,
and why has it been such a?
Because Nehru.
No, but Nehru ko gaye to bahut time ho gaya. Atal ji aye uske baad.
Nehru and Gandhi had some.
Both Gandhi had special reservations with.
They had fondness for Arab. So for Arabs, and they also thought that it would somehow
compromise a moral standing in the world.
I think it was
also domestic
yeah.
Considerations of Muslim minority.
Of the affinity to the Palestine cause by Indian Muslims.
Yeah, because India was very elasticity with which India recognized Palestine. It was the first non-Arab state to do so in 1988 or 87, perhaps 87. So
I see. And how big?
And you could see it from the tweet of Rajdeep, who was, I don't know, rattled or whatever.
Sardesai.
Rajdeep Sardesai, who said that, when everyone was saying that, look, now the relations are really nice and good, he said, let's remember that, the groundwork was laid earlier. Sonia Gandhi did not attend Arafat's funeral. Now, in itself, it's a pretty diabolical tweet, and the fact is that 4 government ministers actually went and attended it. But he was trying to portray this thing that, look...
Sabko joint effort.
Yeah.
I just had one question for the panel, and, we could start off with Atul and then move this way. Actually, let's start with Anand, because Anand, for you, a lot of stuff, morality takes, real politics is not something you look at kindly.
Right.
You've often said that. I think on one occasion I was saying that Modi had to do this and you said no, he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was to do with why did he hug
UAE. He went to UAE.
Yeah, I said, exactly. I said you got to do that. Anyway, so I mean, where the Palestine and the Gaza Strip conflict and the Israel-Palestine conflict has moved over the years, it has moved, and I don't think there are any nice guys anymore. But to begin with, do you think the Palestinians had a moral right to be outraged that, a bunch of people comes and just throws you out and says, now fuck off, this is no longer your country?
2000%. In fact, I've said this before as well, that, when people draw similarities between the Kashmir quote-unquote struggle, I say, no, they have no grouse. The real grouse is what Palestinians have. And there's a wonderful book by Susan Nathan, who's an Israeli Jew, who's written an amazing book called Inside Israel. And that tells you that, in effect, Israel is actually an apartheid state. The sheer irony of it is that, the Jews have suffered so much. I mean, of course, post-World War II and,
Sure.
And the same guys, I'm not saying it's, many people actually say it's a state policy, apartheid state, Israel, it's a state, it's actually perpetrated by Israel per se. Well, you could have 2 views about it, but more or less, there is absolutely no doubt that Palestinians have a absolutely legitimate grouse. And Israel, making settlements, usurping land, their pretext always has been that, they are actually cornered by, the 6 or 7 Arab states who actually have declared war on them
Yeah.
multiple times.
Correct.
In fact, that was the reason why they had Golan Heights, they had Gaza Strip, so many times.
A quick announcement. So the big announcement I promised is on the 21st and 22nd of July, that is Friday and Saturday, Newslaundry in collaboration with Teamwork Arts is organizing a one-of-its-kind news forum called The Media Rumble in the Jungle. So the Media Rumble will be held at Bikaner House, that's, near India Gate in New Delhi. Some of the finest media professionals from across the world will be participating, including the Pulitzer awardee Michael Resendez. For those of you who've seen the film Spotlight, the character played by Mark Ruffalo, who actually did most of the investigation in uncovering the church hushing up boys' abuse scam. He will be, I will be interviewing him. I'm fortunate enough to stuff myself
Fantastic.
in there.
That's a great
We'll
thing.
have, Jagannathan will be there, Jaggi, we'll have Vinod Dua, we'll have Anubha Bhosle, we'll have Rahul Pandita, we'll have Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who's funded the Republic. So there'll be sessions on the economics and the investment of news, the technology behind news, and this is done in partnership with Facebook. So do attend. And we'll also have a panel on, humorists and satirists and how they take on politics and news. We'll have Veer Das, Radhika Vaz, Anuvab Pal, and Ashish Shaikya of All India Bakchod. So I won't give you any more details. Go check out themediarumble.com for details on the schedule and speakers. It's a ticketed event, but जैसा हमने commitment किया था, the event is free for all our subscribers. So dear Newslaundry subscribers, you need to go to the Media Rumble website and RSVP as a Newslaundry subscriber. So you click on RSVP and you'll have a box as an NL subscriber. We'll handle the rest. और मुफ्त खोरो, subscribe करो या फिर ticket खरीद लो. You'll get to hear 50 media professionals from across the board who will have a lot to share. So do be there. I would just like to come to the Chinese aggression bit. If you could just tell our listeners, today, in fact, was it today or yesterday, China has released an extremely aggressive statement through their state, I think the Communist Party's mouthpiece newspaper, that either leave the Sikkim area with dignity or be pushed out or something of the sort. Are they reacting to the visit to Israel? How serious is it? Do you think the Chinese can be adventurous enough to actually make good their threat and, push our soldiers out of there? Or has this nothing to do with Israel visit? And after that, Veeradan, please shed some light.
Basically, मुझे लग रहा है कि पिछले 30-35 सालों में, मतलब जब से हम लोगों ने होश संभाला, इस लैंग्वेज में तो कभी बात नहीं हुई थी. तो जाहिर सी बात है कि इसके पीछे कुछ और भी चीज़ें हैं जो कि इसमें रोल प्ले कर रही हैं. हाल फिलहाल में 2-3 चीज़ें हुई हैं. एक तो OBOR को लेके इंडिया का जो स्टैंड रहा है, पूरी तरह से इंडिया ने इसको बाइकआउट किया था.
That is the road,
one border one road scheme,
which is the most ambitious project
of China, जिसमें 130 से ज़्यादा देशों ने करीब हिस्सा लिया. तो एक तो वो है जिसकी वजह से चाइना को का एक ग्रज हो सकता है. और इसके अलावा छोटी छोटी तमाम चीज़, मतलब इस तरह के बॉर्डर पे जो चलते रहते हैं चाइना, तो एक लेवल पे जाके दोनों देश फिर अपनी अपनी पोजीशन पे वापस आते रहे. लेकिन इस बार ऐसा पहली बार हो रहा है. कैलाश मानसरोवर यात्रा रुक गई है इस चक्कर में. और वो जो पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट है वहाँ पे की जो सिचुएशन है वो भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. वो एक ऐसा ट्रायंगल है जहाँ पे भूटान का भी बॉर्डर है, इंडिया का भी है और चाइना का भी है. तो जिससे एक इंडिया के पास कहने को एक ये है कि इस पर्टिकुलर इलाके की सिक्योरिटी का जिम्मा हमारा है, और चाइना उस चीज़ को एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहा है.
But you think there's cause for concern that they will actually become aggressors?
मुझे लगता है कि एक सर्टेन लिमिट पे जाके दोनों देशों के पास पीछे हटने के अलावा कोई चारा नहीं है.
That I haven't understood because I'm still trying to see various videos of simple, like,
See,
I mean, I'm not saying it makes it more complicated, but it hasn't changed anything for me.
It's funny you say that, because when you talk about makes it simpler, technically it is one nation, one tax, all right? ONOT or whatever, O-not. But actually, there is demarcations, there are grades within the tax. Now, a lot of people, especially on the left, were saying कि भैया आप ये one nation one tax कह रहे हो और AC restaurants का अलग tax है, non-AC का अलग है, इसमें ये है वो है. So I because I hadn't read much about it, I had that view कि boss आप एक तो simplify कह रहे हो पर ये simplify कैसे हुआ? Then by chance I heard Arun Jaitley's explanation in Aaj Tak or something like that, which was wonderful. He said that look, should we have one income tax? So, don't we have gradations for income tax? If the rich people are also paying the same as the poor people, then it is an atrocity on the poor people. So if a rich man, a millionaire were to buy a soap, he would be paying the same tax as a poor person buying a soap. So it kind of makes sense how they have, so it's not a regressive tax at all.
It absolutely makes sense to not tax the guy who's eating in a non-AC.
So
why should he be paying for it's a lot.
So Tarzan, बताइए, what are the other benefits? Is the simplicity thing being oversimplified?
I don't I was silent because I don't know much about it.
Okay.
So
there's no reason to be silent.
Never stop me. Never stop me,
So let us see. It will have in our earlier discussion about GST. It will definitely let us say 2 years of teething problems. Then we can have a verdict.
2 months, you mean?
2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, means to get the mechanism in place, I think it will depend largely on bureaucratic machinery. And so.
But if I can be diabolical and bring some politics into it, which is that Kashmir has a different, say on things than India does. And there was a lot of controversy because that was the only state that had not ratified the GST.
They have now.
No.
You see, they have now. So what I want to say is, because they were petrified that their economy, in fact, would have surely collapsed because import and export, would have completely collapsed.
Yeah.
So you see, when you think of economy of any country or a nation or an area, and you have political turbulence,
self-preservation kicks in.
I
completely agree
so
with
all
you.
these revolutions, Venezuela, कुछ भी ले लो आप.
Yeah.
That is, जब पेट पे लात लगती है, सब line पे.
That is one of my things which, when I was younger and more brash, my solution to the Kashmir problem was, give them azadi for a year, let's see how they survive, then they will come back. But then a lot of people said, then who will take it back? Because Pakistan will take, so you can't do that. But
also, one political point is that what made BJP confident enough to roll it out, because it in a way signals coming of age of BJP, because it has confidence to look beyond its traditional vote banks in trading community, and because traders are up against.
But it's been quite a lot of rioting in Gujarat also on traders against these.
The expansion of its vote base, it somehow reflects its
confidence.
Growing confidence.
Yeah, true.
That it can.
I think that's a good political analysis. I just had one, observation. I don't know how right or wrong this is. Although this was also happening when I was paying my service tax and Swachh Bharat tax, and it has to be done online. पहले मैं check sign कर देता था. So now the accounts are online करना है, password. So and I keep forgetting passwords. I make passwords every day and I keep forgetting. So it's a real problem for me.
Common problem.
I'll try something and he'll say नहीं काम कर रहा. Then I'll call up the bank. Then they'll say आपको भरना पड़ेगा. फिर एक code आएगा. फिर से तब तक से date निकल जाएगी, penalty लग जाएगी. तो I'm just thinking, if even a clumsy but educated person like me, okay, not educated, maybe literate, has these problems. Some small trader where bloody internet connection, half the time the server of which, this is not working, that is. If they're supposed to do this on a regular basis, they're fucked, man. So that bit I don't get. How are they going to solve that problem? I'm sure Mukesh Bhai is there to roll out Jio. But I don't know how that will work out.
Sun liya Afrika, mufat khoro. Not to brag or anything, but Newslaundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free.
All Newslaundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.